So maybe a first question would be, give us a state of just your tribes. Madison has just been designated in December, Truax Field, as the home of F35A. Doctor, can you start? Give us an overview. In June, the Board of Regents of the University of Wisconsin System asked former Governor Tommy Thompson, would you consider being president of the UW system? The former governor said, I will, if it's a unanimous vote. It was a unanimous vote. He's now president of the UW system, and it's so timely to have a Newsmakers interview with Governor UW system president, Tommy G. Thompson.
I like governor. Yeah, I like it. Thanks, Steve.
Okay, good to see you, sir. Thanks so much for doing this. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, it's my pleasure. You and I have done this, I don't know how many times, but it's always a pleasure to get a chance to see my friend. And you look good, Steve, and your retirement is dealing you well, except I guess you're not fully retired, neither am I. So
not yet, but maybe
we're
in a little bit.
We're going strong, Steve.
Yeah, maybe in a little bit.
Governor, no, don't say that. Don't say that.
Okay, more to the point. Governor Evers just extended the statewide mask mandate until, until 2 months, November 21. In that press release, he said that eight Wisconsin cities are listed among the top 20 nationally in the U.S. where COVID-19 is rising fastest. 6 of those 8 have UW system campuses.
Right.
Have the undergrads on UW system campuses not behave responsibly in terms of COVID-19 protocols and heading off the virus, sir?
Steve, that's hard to say, but the truth of the matter is we are testing 5 to 10 times more than the regular citizens in the state of Wisconsin. We've set up a program of testing, of following those individuals that test positive. We have done this with one deliberate purpose, to make our campuses as safe as possible. And granted, we've had some eruptions. There's no question about it when you put that many young people together. But the nice thing we're finding, ever since, we had to reduce the online teaching or the in-person teaching and do more online, the students have been responding. We have seen the decline go down. We have seen students wearing their masks. We have seen a lot of less partying in the bars. We have seen more studying and more students telling me, we want to make sure that we are going to be here for the full semester. So I think we're going in the right direction. Granted, we've had some increases, but it really is attributable to the fact that we've increased testing and we want to take care of them. We're taking care of those students that test positive, and that's the good part.
There are mitigation programs on now 3 campuses, Madison, La Crosse, and River Falls, and you have praised those mitigations. Do you expect further mitigation programs very soon at some of these other campuses? Well, the national news reported on the numbers at Whitewater, Oshkosh, and Platteville. Do you expect new mitigation programs, sir, on those campuses?
At this point in time, no, I don't. And I also want you to tell you that we're expecting to open up at Madison and La Crosse and River Falls. All 3 of them, the decline in rates indicate that it's very positive that the 2-week hiatus of closing down was good, and the students are responding very positively. It's a culture of responsibility that we're trying to instill in our students, that they come to campus for an education, not just to party. And we want to make sure that they're going to be doing what is necessary to be good students so that we can keep the schools open. And that, I think, is working. It's the lesson, the messages we get out to all of our students. I think that's really helping students respond very positively.
The 2 weeks mitigation plan for UW-Madison ends this Friday. Have you just said you expect a return to online on the Madison campus and next Monday? Excuse me. Let me grab a glass of milk.
No, we're expecting not online. We're expecting in-person teaching.
You are? Okay, on the Madison campus.
On the Madison campus, and a week after that, La Crosse, and a week after that, River Falls. We expect all of the campus to be back going in person teaching and lecturing right after the 2 weeks are up. We did it for a purpose: cool off, get the rate down. The rate's coming down, and we feel very positive at Madison that we will be able to open up.
Given the spikes on some campuses, do you have any regrets about the open in-person order? And was that order a result of science or your Tommy G. Thompson Badger pride, sense of Badger pride?
No, I think it's all of the above. There's no question that I pushed hard and believe very much in what we're doing. But we set up a program. I remodeled a whole floor up on the 19th floor of Van Nuys. And every day we're up there at 9:30. We're seeing all the campuses, all the statistics from the day before, all the testing, all the necessary contact tracing. We also know how many students are in quarantine, how many students are isolated. We also know how they're being taken care of. I think we got one of the best plans. I'm so proud of my team, so proud of what we set up. And we have, I think, great progress. You mentioned Oshkosh. Oshkosh is going out and doing more testing in order to find more students. They're circling anybody that tests positive. They go out and find any student that's come in contact with them and test them. And therefore, they're going to have more positives, but at the same time, they're taking care of them. It's a culture of responsibility that we're instilling in our students. The faculty has responded. The chancellors have responded. And I think everybody realizes that this is something that a lot of people didn't think we could do. I am confident we're going to do it. It's going to be successful.
Friday was the deadline for students and parents to seek refunds. Have you seen those numbers? And what number of students on any campus or system-wide ask for refunds because of COVID?
Oh, there's been some. I would say in the neighborhood of 5 to 8%.
Okay.
But I'm not exactly sure that the finality of that number, but it's not as much as you would think. And we also are hearing from parents, I am, and from students that they can't wait to get back. They love being on campus, Steve, and they want to go to school and they want to be in person with their professors. We're trying to give them that opportunity. We say it's a two-way street. You have to also behave. You also have to act like adults. And you also want to keep this campus open. We had a situation in Eau Claire where the seniors in Eau Claire took the freshmen out and said, last year we closed up in March. We're not going to do it this year. Behave yourselves. And today I just got the numbers from Eau Claire. Only 2 college students tested positive on the Eau Claire campus. That is fantastic. That's a great step forward. And I think that's what you're going to see throughout all the campuses. Oshkosh is doing just a wonderful job. All my campuses are just doing, I think, a great job. I'm very proud of them.
Okay, so what's your message then to parents of UW system undergrads system-wide? Are you winning the fight to identify and control COVID on these system campuses, sir?
Yes, we are. We're identifying. We're testing. We're going to be doing 20,000 tests a week on these campuses. And we're going to find who tests positive. We're going to pull those out. We're going to quarantine them for 14 days or isolate them if they come down. And we're going to be able then to make sure that we control COVID. The worst thing would be is to send these students that test positive back home. They're going to take that terrible virus back to their parents, to their grandparents, to the community at large. I want us here at the campus level to take care of those students, and we're doing it. And the students are responding nicely. The professors are, as well as and the chancellor just doing an awesome job.
You said you pushed for online learning. My question is this: you had to consider.
I pushed for in person.
Yes, thanks for the correction. You pushed for in person, so thank you for the correction. But you had to consider all online learning. My question is, what would have been the financial hit if you would have had to decide to go all online learning? Do you remember those estimates, Governor?
No, I do not. In fact, we didn't look at it. I know everybody thinks the only reason we did this was a financial one. I can assure you and your listening audience that finances is a concern for any university. But we did not take into consideration, should we open up? Should we have more in-person teaching? Should we have more online, more modified, both hybrid systems? We didn't do that. We looked at how can we give the best education possible? How can we do it safely? And how can we make sure that the professor, the instructor, the TAs, and the student is taken care of safely? Health was the number one reason. Education was number two. Finances would have been way back third, but it wasn't even considered.
On the day that the Big Ten announced it'll resume football, Wisconsin hit 2,000 positives. Aren't you worried about the football season and all the pregame parties, even though they won't be in the stands? How could you vote to resume Big Ten football on a day when Wisconsin hit a record number of positives, sir?
Well, first off, I didn't vote. That's not in my purview.
Okay.
But
you're comfortable with the decision? I
am very comfortable with the decision. I think Barry Alvarez and Chancellor Blank did an awesome job. They didn't turn it down first. They came back after a lot of review. They figure they can do it in a healthy way. And you got to look at these type of things. We're studying them every single day. I wish you'd come up and take a look at the 19th floor. We study every campus every single day as to how many students are in class, what's going on with testing, how many are being needed to be tracked, and how many are in quarantine, how many are being isolated. We're doing this on a day-to-day basis. And the athletic department is going to have to do this with their football team. And they're going to have to make sure those football players are healthy so they can play. And I know Barry Alvarez and I know Chancellor Blank, they are looking at the health of the athlete as the number one consideration. And they've done that before, and they'll keep doing it throughout the whole season. I feel very comfortable with their decision, Steve.
Governor, over your career, you've had an amazing set of circumstances to confront. You were there for 9/11 and SARS and boat landing violence and natural disasters in Wisconsin. Is COVID-19 the biggest challenge of your career?
9/11 was.
9/11 was. Okay.
9/11 was so dramatic, and so many people were killed right there, and I was right in the eye of the storm. I had to get 100 tons of medical supplies to New York. That was by far the biggest tragedy that I had to face with. COVID is very high up the list, but I really think we're doing a very good job at the university of getting students back and having them healthy and taking care of them.
I only have a few more questions because I want to respect your time. Is the Madison campus a leading research center for how to find a vaccine and how to fight COVID, sir? And did you consider being part of the AstraZeneca test?
Yes, I did.
Are you?
Still to be determined, but I volunteered.
Okay.
You knew I would.
Well, that's true.
That's why I asked the question. But yeah, of course I volunteer. Do anything for the science. But I want you to know, the University of Wisconsin, Steve, is the biggest asset we have in this state next to our people. This is a fantastic institution. And the kind of research that's going on in this campus, nobody can ascertain completely the length and the breadth and the depth of the tremendous research going on this wonderful campus. It's absolutely amazing. University of Wisconsin is a jewel, and the people of this state should be so proud of this institution.
Drawing on your background as Health and Human Services Secretary, and yeah, you called yourself a friend of Tony Fauci.
I call him on his birthday, December 25th, every year.
When do you think we'll get a vaccine, given this debate between the CDC and President Trump, sir?
I think we're going to have a vaccine in the first quarter of next year.
First quarter of next year.
Absolutely.
And you'll be first in line to take it.
I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of people who want to take that vaccine. I know I do. I know you do too. I know you, Steve. You'll be, if I'm first, you're going to be number 2. So,
Okay.
So absolutely, I'll take it. Why wouldn't I?
All right. You've never been in your career a placeholder. So here's my question. If
Yeah.
you hold this presidency job for 2 years, what are the biggest achievements or reforms you'd like to make if you're president of the UW system for 2 years? Please.
The University of Wisconsin will never be the same as when I took it over. I'm going to make tremendous changes in the way we do our accounting, the way we do our computer system, the way we conduct classes, the way we make the payroll. We're going to do a tremendous job in the 10 areas that I put in my budget.
Yeah.
Water, mental health, prison reform, helping minorities come into our great institution. Wait and see. Come and interview me when I get close to, when the Board of Regents says, your time is up, Tommy, it's time to go. Come and interview me and we'll put in what I inherited and what I leave with, okay?
Okay, 2 more questions. Why is it so important that the system have bonding authority? Because as governor, you know that often when you issue bonds, you can raise some long-term costs to pay off those bonds. Why is bonding authority so important, sir?
Do you think the University of Wisconsin is as good as the University of Ohio? Do you think we're as good as the University of Illinois? Do you think we're as good as University of Texas, the University of Florida? Every school has bonding authority except the University of Wisconsin. Why not Wisconsin? Why don't you let us be independent? The state taxpayers only give 17 cents out of every dollar to this great campus. 17 cents. Now I ask you, I know how tight you can be sometimes, Steve Walters. I've been with you. And if you gave me 17 cents and I gave you 83 cents back, how often would you do that in a day?
Sure. Can we do that in the next hour? Yeah, you're on. All right. Okay.
All right. That's what the state is getting. State gives us 17% to run this school, and we return to the state 83 cents. $23. For every dollar the state contributes, we return to the state $23. Plus, we graduate 38,000 students, which about 90% stay in the state. Now, don't you think that is a tremendous asset to have? And so all I tell you is, look out. I'm done apologizing for the university. We're going out and we're telling the people of this state how great this institution is and why it's so important that the state supports us. Give us our independence. Don't over boss us. Don't over regulate us. Don't over criticize us. Give us our opportunity. That's why we need bonding. We want to be independent. We can do the job. We can do the job better if you get off our backs.
Before he left, Mr. Cross announced the goal of consolidating majors on many of the 4-year campuses. In other words, if you now can get a journalism degree at 6 of the 4 years, maybe you should be able to get a journalism degree at 3. Are you going to continue his goal of consolidating majors, sir?
I'm going to do a lot that President Cross, he was a great leader, a great visionary. I'm going to carry out a lot of his ideas, not all of them. And we're looking at all those particular subjects. And that one, we haven't made a decision on yet, but we certainly are looking at it.
Okay. You're comfortable with Governor Evers' decision today to extend for 60 days the statewide face mask mandate? Because you've already got that on your campuses, right?
We got a mandate. When I came in, I asked the Board of Regents, and the Board of Regents wanted to pass unanimously that you wear your mask on campus. Another way to protect our students and our professors and our faculty. We want to make sure that everybody is as safe as possible on our campus.
How often are you tested?
I've only been tested once.
And that was negative. And
that was negative. I would like to get tested again. Sure.
Okay. And
I think it's a good, it's a good example.
You're working from Van Nuys?
I work from Van Nuys every day. We're putting in some long hours, Steve, like you know I would. We're here early and we stay till 6, 7 o'clock every night.
Yeah, the old rule in the Capitol was nobody could leave until you left the Capitol. Hey, what advice did you give your oldest granddaughter, Sophie, who transferred to the UW-Madison campus?
I said, come to the best university in the country. Why would you go out east when you got this jewel right here in Wisconsin?
But what advice on her keeping her safe, Governor?
I'm doing everything I possibly can to keep her safe because she's a sweetheart and I love her dearly.
UW System President Tommy Thompson, I really appreciate your time. Thanks for the update today, sir. Take care, stay safe, and thank you.
It's always a pleasure, Steve. You're a great friend, and thank you for interviewing me.
This program is a production of WisconsinEye, an independent, nonpartisan, nonprofit media network with a mission to inform, educate, and engage the citizens of Wisconsin. WisconsinEye is the nation's first and only independently funded state civics broadcast network, providing gavel-to-gavel access to government proceedings and events at the state capitol.